as today's panel. On the right, Republican strategist Boris Epshteyn. And on the left, the founder of the Agenda Project, Payne. Welcome to the show, you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, let's start right here. Some top-level CEOs are going after our safety nets, you may have heard, saying that there has to be cuts to Medicare and Social Security to reduce the debt. Let's watch.
When it comes to cutting the budget, where does that money come from?
The big nut is going to have to be Medicare, Medicaid. And even though most people don't want to talk about it,
you're going to have to undoubtedly do something to lower people's expectations, the entitlements, and what people think that they're going to get, because they're not going to get it.
Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid?
Some things. And, you can go back and you can look at the history of these things. And Social Security wasn't devised to be a system that supported you for a 30-year retirement after a 25-year career.
Okay, first of all, most people don't start their careers at 40. They start them at 20. So it's not a 25-year career. That's number one. I just want to get that out of the way. Mr. Blankfein is wrong there. And also, wouldn't Social Security be more solvent if these dogs didn't take bailout money? $10 billion to Goldman Sachs, taxpayer money, and more. I won't even go into it all.
As far as that goes,
yeah.
The bailouts, first of all, were forced on Goldman Sachs specifically.
What was forced on them?
The bailout was the federal government made him take the bailout.
Really?
That's
he protested, don't give me the money?
He actually did.
Really?
And two,
is that true, Erica?
They paid back that money with interest.
Okay, so that's one of the big lies about the financial crisis. You've got to look at the financial crisis in two ways. One is the damage think of it as a car wreck, okay? So a car runs into a crowd of people. The car gets wrecked, the people all die.
Right.
That's essentially what happened in the financial crisis. The car is the banks, so we gave them money to fix their cars. In essence, what we didn't do was spend enough money to fix all the damage they did. So if you look at just the U.S. economy, the financial crisis is estimated to have cost $16 trillion. Let me be real clear. The banks have not paid back $16 trillion.
No, they paid back the money given the bailout.
So they paid back the money that they used to fix the car that they drive, which frankly is a Rolls Royce, which everybody saw when those bailouts were happening, and the bonuses came right afterwards.
Would you rather not be about the banks when it failed?
So what Lloyd Blankfein, when he goes on national television and says that a senior who makes on average around $20,000 a year in Social Security and Medicare, that she needs to cut back because that guy, that's exactly what he said.
All right, let's hear from
wants
Boris.
to take his money out of the government.
So first of all, the financial crisis, as it were, the meltdown, was not caused solely by the banks. It was also caused. Let me finish. It was also caused by the Community Reinvestment Act. It was also
the housing
caused
crisis.
by being forced.
Can
I please?
Absolutely.
Let him finish.
It was also caused by the banks being forced to lend to folks that shouldn't have been lended to. So that's one. Two, what Lloyd Blankfein is saying is common sense. Do any of us really think that the Social Security age, the retirement age, shouldn't go up a little bit right now? In the 1930s, they said it's 65. In the 1930s. How long were people living then? How long are they living now? We have to adjust to that.
So Boris, it doesn't like get you in your kishkis when you hear these people who made 16 million Blankfein last year. This other one, Coat, made 55 million. Talk about taking money away from poor people. Doesn't get you right here.
What Lloyd is saying isn't take money away. He's saying long term, make it solvent.
Don't actually have a kishkis. This is the fundamental problem. You said doesn't
we're all
get you in your
heartless, right?
kishkis.
All 60 million of us are heartless?
Let me be clear.
Oh, come on,
the
you're ridiculous.
establishment Republicans and the moneyed interests that back them do not have a kishkis.
That is ludicrous.
Which is why they back these policies.
Okay.
And if you look in the
why
newspaper
do we have to
today,
listen to them?
That's not even an argument. There's 60 million. You know why I have to listen to us? Because 60 million people voted for Mitt Romney. 60 million people voted for Mitt Romney.
Yeah, he lost.
He lost, but 60 million voted for him.
Yeah.
And those are big pockets of the population. So unless you want to be
60 million people did not vote for Social Security and Medicare
they voted for Mitt Romney. They voted for Republican ideals.
One at a time.
So they voted for Republican ideals, okay?
Yeah.
So if you look at what Republican ideals are, which is small government, low taxes, national security, to say we're heartless is ludicrous. What we're saying is you have to address the problem. Right now, these programs, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, are going to be insolvent.
False.
They're going going to be insolvent.
That is
and if we
factually
do
inaccurate.
not
Give us back the
change
TARP
them,
money.
That is
Give us back
factually-
the
that is
trillions of dollars
We
you
did.
gave.
Banks did give it
You
back.
actually,
They didn't give it all
as
back.
I explained earlier, Boris, they actually didn't give the money back, number
Right.
one.
'Cause they
Number
didn't
two,
get
number
those
two,
monies.
Boris, number two, Social Security actually is solvent. With a very minor fix, Social Security can go on for the rest of time and be perfectly
Okay.
fine. So that's one thing. And the second thing is, if you look at Medicare, to believe that the problem is Medicare and Medicaid is to fundamentally misunderstand the problem. The problem
What is
is
the problem?
Also,
is
these
the
60 million
American
that you're talking
healthcare
about.
system. It is not Medicare or
Well,
Medicaid
the president has
specifically.
attempted to fix that, and
It's
now
a-
we're seeing businesses saying we're going to go out of business because of the president's fix. So let's see how well that works out. It's not going to work out.
Well, how much are these what do you call it, CEOs willing to pay in taxes? They still don't want their taxes to go
They're
up.
willing to pay in tax or whatever the tax law says they're going to pay.
Yeah, but they're
They don't-
fighting
nobody-
tooth and
Do you
nail.
pay more in taxes than you have to? I don't. Do you?
So-
Probably
so
not.
there-
Listen, it's for
But
the
here's
greater
the thing.
good, Boris. You have to fix the bridges. You've got to take care of the police department, the fire department. I consider it a very patriotic thing to pay
I'm
taxes.
a very proud Republican, and I pay my taxes, and I'm happy to pay.
Yeah, but you
as
want
much
to
as
pay
the
less
law
and less
says
and less,
I will.
and
Here's the
screw
thing.
the little
I don't want
underdog.
to screw. I don't want to screw anybody.
The difference is that Lloyd Blankfein is out there advocating for cuts to programs that he knows will have no effect on his life whatsoever.
And why does he do that?
He is asking.
Why is he doing that?
Because he doesn't have a kishkis. We
Do
addressed
you know
this.
Lloyd personally?
I worked at Goldman Sachs,
So does that-
and
did you
I
ever
don't need
meet
to
him?
know him personally. Do
Yeah,
you know him
I've
personally?
actually-
Are you willing to vouch for his
There's a
character?
Democrat
Are you
ad
kidding me?
hominem.
I don't know
There's
you
a typical.
personally, and I can already tell you have a kishkis gap.
Okay, that's
Why
great. You
do
don't know me, and you
Democrats-
don't know anything about
All
me.
right,
I know
So
what
you're going,
policies
but
you
you're going
support, and I
after
know
me.
what
But
they're
you're
gonna
going
do
after
to
me
old
personally,
people. I
and that's
know
going to be the
exactly what the
downfall
policies
of the
you've got.
Democrat
This
Party.
is not
Okay,
personal, this
you want
argument.
to talk about the
just
downfall of the
became
Democratic
personal.
Party? Your party
Erica.
just got an ass whooping.
Okay, but don't yell
Really?
at him.
Really? You got an ass
Why?
whooping? Look at the House
He's out there
Representatives.
forwarding all of these policies.
I know, but he may
Why should he
personally.
not be attacked?
He may personally have kisses.
See,
He's just spouting.
you're attacking me
I believe
is the
that, as
exact
Maya
downfall of the
Angelou
Democrat
said-
Party.
All right, when
Maya
we have a
Angelou.
downfall of the Democratic Party, we can talk. Right now, you all are having a downfall. So
We're
we
not
can
having
talk
a
about
downfall.
that.
We have the House
As Maya-
Representatives.
as
Can I
Maya
get to
Angelou
something?
said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Okay, can I ask
Great.
you why the Democrats
Go read some poetry.
the Democrats did win, Boris? I don't know if you
They did.
noticed that. They won big. And why are they afraid to go after these people?
Well-
They killed Osama bin Laden. Why is he afraid of Boner
You
and
want, him,
Cantor?
you want him to kill Cantor?
No, but I mean, they're brave. This is a brave thing that the president did. Why does he buckle under to these people?
I don't think he's buckling.
He better
he's
not.
He's actually doing what this president should be doing, and what we can get
Which is-
behind him as
which is?
Republicans is trying to go across party lines, trying to be bipartisan, and build his legacy. That's what
Okay,
he
let's
wants to
talk
do.
about
He
Grover
wants to have a
Norquist.
legacy.
Grover Norquist is going after those Republicans that are backing away from his fabulous tax pledge.
Grover.
Watch him slam Representative Peter King. I love how they're turning on each other. Go.
The pledge is not for life, but everybody who signed the pledge, including Peter King, who tried to weasel out of it, shame on him, as the New York Sun said today. I hope his wife understands that commitments last a little longer than 2 years or something.
He sounds like a guy who's been, like, scorned by his lover.
Some kind of ad hominem attack I just withstood. No place in politics. Grover should not be doing this. And Grover should realize that the pledge has not helped us in elections. No pledge helps anybody in any election. Elections are not about pledges. They're about governing and doing what's the best for those who have elected you.
Yes.
And to have a blind pledge, so I'm not going to raise any taxes, that's ludicrous.
I love
And,
how
you know,
your party, they're
and
all
you know
turning
what?
on each
Joy,
other.
I'm not
Joy,
turning on anybody.
For the last 20 years, Republicans have believed that kowtowing to Grover Norquist was going to help them in their elections.
Yeah.
And for the last 20 years, it has helped them in their elections. He's directed money to them. When they've gone against that pledge, he's directed money against them. So it has been helpful to them in the election. There's a group of patriotic millionaires, about 200 people who make more than $1 million a year, who have been barnstorming the country for the last 2 years, advocating for their taxes to go up. They did a 45-minute meeting with Grover Norquist, which is one of the most fascinating things
what did they
you could
tell
ever
him?
see. I mean, basically, they said if you don't want a government, move to
Grover is-
Somalia. And if
Grover
you're
is
not
not an
willing to
elected
pay for it,
official.
move to Somalia.
Yeah.
Grover is
So
not an
hit the
elected
road.
official.
Okay, I
He
gotta
doesn't
take
run
a
the
break.
Republican
Let's
Party.
take a break.
Does not run
But
the party.
apparently, like I
Yes,
said
he
to you,
does.
He
Boris,
does not run our party.
I'm running this show, though. Everyone's turning on Mitt Romney, even Donald Trump. That and more when we come back. I'm back with Boris Epshteyn and Erica Payne. Did I say it right?
You said it right.
Okay. So let's talk about the fact that a lot of people in your party are turning on Mitt Romney now. They think that he did everything wrong, including Donald Trump, who attacked Mitt Romney, and this is what he said. He said he failed to resonate among certain demos because of his maniacal immigration policy. I thought Mitt was Donald's guy.
You know, there's actually wrong on both sides of this.
Immigration? Wow.
Governor Romney ran a good campaign. We got over 60 million votes. We lost this election. I proudly supported him, did everything I could. We lost. Now it was time for him to not go out there and do Monday morning quarterback. He did. He went out and made those comments about African Americans and Latinos. So he probably shouldn't have done that. On the other side, members of the Republican Party, people like Donald Trump or anybody else, there's no reason to now put knives in Mitt Romney. He already is our past candidate. What we need to do is figure out how we're going to embrace a larger spectrum of the electorate.
Isn't this sour grapes still on their part that they lost?
It may be.
I mean,
I'm not experiencing those. All I want to do is move forward, look 2014. We still have the House. We'll keep it in 14. Look at the Senate. And look toward 16. We're going to have great candidates.
If they didn't do a lot of gerrymandering, you guys would have lost the House also.
Oh, yeah, because that's just, gerrymandering is only on one side, right? Come on, Joy.
Well, mostly on your side.
Really?
Yes. Now,
in New York?
All right, that's one state. We never are the determining factor in any election anyway.
It happens every 10 years. You all were in charge of the last gerrymandering. When you look at how the votes turned out, the population voted, 50-50 here and there, but the seats turned out disproportionately in Republican hands. So obviously, you squished all the people that you don't like into a couple of districts to concentrate their votes.
Or the Democrats try to squish us in a district they don't want.
Right, except that that's not what just happened because we just redistricted. So, I mean, the reason we are gerrymandered now is because of Republican-controlled redistricting.
Let's not get off on
you realize it happens on a state basis.
All right, I don't want to talk about gerrymandering. Right. It's too tedious.
It happens every 10 years.
Let's face the facts here.
Okay.
But
we lost, right? Is that what you were talking about?
You guys lost, period. The end. And, Trump is now saying that Romney had a meanness to his immigration policy. Now, wasn't the birther obsession a mean thing to do also?
Isn't saying you're fired on national TV kind of mean, too?
But I mean, I wouldn't trust somebody.
Donald Trump is not, I said this, I think, actually on this show, before the election, I'll say it now. Donald Trump does not speak for the Republican Party. No one person speaks for the Republican Party like Grover Norquist does not. The Republican Party is, again, a large party.
I think that's a great myth. I mean, I really think if you go back to 1964 and look at the evolution of the conservative movement and the funding of the conservative movement, you will find that it is a very, very small number of very wealthy oligarchs who have funded your entire infrastructure and people like Grover Norquist who decide where the money goes.
So
if you're holding up, who are the people who represent our party, you have to look at where does the money come from, and you have to look at where does it go and who controls what happens. And Grover Norquist's notorious Wednesday morning meeting has been the power center in Washington for the better part of 20 years. So when Grover Norquist speaks for the Republican Party, you routinely trot Donald Trump out to speak on your behalf.
She used the channels of democracy, just like Donald Trump does, in the channels available to him to make their point heard. It's America. We have a First Amendment. They're allowed to do that. I'm not. So he has the right to go out there and say what he says.
Do you have some hope for the Republican Party because they're turning on Grover Norquist?
No. Because here's the thing. They go out there and they say, we've got to expand our demographics. Well, to expand your demographics, you've got to quit offending everybody who isn't an old, rich, white dude.
Okay. All right, here's another story because we don't have a lot of time left. Someone from the past is back. Remember this one? Jennifer Flowers. Do you know her, Boris?
It's just, a little before my time, but sure.
She just did an interview where she dishes about her affair with Bill Clinton. I mean, deja vu all over again. Listen to her talk about the last time Clinton called her in 2005.
It was after Katrina, and I was at home by myself, and the phone rang. It said unavailable. And I picked up the phone, and it was him. And he wanted to come by my house and talk to me.
Yeah, she does look like Barbara Eden a little bit. Does anybody care about Clinton's affairs? Because Monica Lewinsky was going to, this is a whole other subject, wanted to also write a book. Your phone's ringing on my show?
That's not my phone.
It's Donald. He's mad.
It's the Donald.
It's the Donald. Said that he's not the spokesman for the party.
You can say whatever you want. Don't fire me, whatever you do.
Tell him I want to see his birth certificate.
I want to see your birth certificate, okay? Oh, Guana K? Okay.
But I mean, let's talk just about Clinton, because Clinton really did emerge, I think, in this election as a total player and a really important part of the Democratic Party. You have nobody on your side the equivalent of Bill Clinton, as far as I'm concerned.
I am a big fan.
Eric Cantor, give me a break.
Yeah, Eric Cantor is a sitting congressman. Bill Clinton is the next two-term president of the United States
I'm just saying, you have nobody.
You also have a two-term ex-president.
You have a two-term
ex-president. Who is one of the biggest morons on the planet. Y'all won't even have him come speak at your convention.
You expose your own. You expose your own limits by calling others stupid. I'm not one bit embarrassed to be a Republican, and I'm a huge fan of George W. Bush's. You know why? Because George W. Bush was sincere. He did what he thought was best for the country every day of the week.
Except for those boys who were killed in Iraq. Next up, I'll talk with the founder of the Gay Christian Network about what it was like trying to convert from gay to straight. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. We'll be right back.